Hello and welcome to Neil's Spanish Fly Box. Today's tying is the Coca-Cola. Now this fly is normally tied in a 14, 16 and 18, and that's a size 16. And is generally fished in deeper water on low light days at the beginning of the year, and certainly not later than June, probably only up to June. It can be a devastating fly on its day. Just the plain Coca-Cola can catch fish, but with a collar as an attractor, it does enhance the chance just a little more. So I'm going to tie a size 14 with a 3.3 copper bead. Now the materials that we're going to use for this is the body, the Coca-Cola as such, is a hen's holostren, and it is holostren 15 to create that colour. I think it's called bronze. For the collar I'm going to use a fluorescent orange thread. The tail will be medium Pardo Coq de Lion, and the thread I'm going to use a beige. Now you can use whatever colour thread you want. It will change the colour of the Coca-Cola. Yes, I know Coca-Cola only has one colour, but in terms of fly tying it can make it a little bit lighter or a little bit darker. So hopefully this will make it a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to mount the bead. This fly is probably used more in northern Spain, where the rivers are a little bit colder at the early part of the year. It's not unusual to actually get temperatures in April of 30 degrees centigrade. So those low light days that I was referring to are certainly less available as the year goes on, or as the season goes on. Just mount that, trying to secure it. There. This is a fine nymph hook, so it will be a little bit finer for that size bead, but we will not concern ourselves. Medium Pardo, not too many fibres. Maybe 6 or 8. Pull them out at 90 degrees, they should level up, and you can tear them off. Tie them in, top of the hook. Now the tails for Perdigons should certainly not be longer than the shank of the hook, and preferably a little bit shorter. Looks about right. Perdigons are fairly simple to tie, and it's really all about balance and of course how they're fished and when they're fished. So right, I'm just going to cut off some of this holostren and tie it in. Holostren is quite fine, which means that it may take a little bit longer to wind up the shank. But generally speaking, it produces a slightly slimmer Perdigon, which is an advantage. Just create a bit of a bed there. Right, now I'm going to put some super glue on the top of the thread there to hold the holographic in place. And tie this up. It's a bit long, so I'm going to cut some of that off. There we go. Just take your time, touching turns up the shank. and you will get there eventually. Up to the bead and the hook. Right, I'm going to tie that down. Take off the surplus. I'm actually just going to tie it off as well. Because as I said, I'm going to use a holographic thread, a fluorescent holographic thread for a collar. Just take off that extra. It doesn't need to be too wide, it is just an attractor. There. And tie that off. Right, just as an aside, when you think you've got a fluorescent thread, if you use your UV light, you can see whether that is fluorescent or not, and I'm sure that you can see the effect that it has on that. I'm going to coat it with UV, and I use Loon Thin. It comes with a brush. It's very easy to apply, and it doesn't bulk up the fly too much. Just give that a quick zap. Yeah. As I said, it doesn't bulk it up too much, and I'm going to give it another little coat, a thin coat, just to give it a bit of extra protection from the trout teeth, hopefully, when it catches plenty of fish. When I was talking about the UV properties of the thread, of course, as the light refracts through the water, going down through the water column, anything that picks up the UV from the light will of course have more attraction than one that doesn't. So that's it. That is the Coca-Cola with a fluorescent orange collar. As I said, it can be very, very successful on its day. A nice thin tying for it to go down quickly. I hope you enjoyed that. Do subscribe, pass comment if you wish, and give it a thumbs up. Until the next video, I'll see you then. Bye.